Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Encased. We are in the middle of the registering process as a Kronos employee. First up, let's talk to storekeeper Sydney Maynard to collect our field uniform. And before I forget, there's also this guy, Monty James. He forgot his papers and asked us to register him. Not sure now how to do that. Let's first get our uniform. Fiber optic cable. Some electrical equipment. Just take everything and get the uniform.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sydney Maynard, storekeeper. The silver perks up at your approach. A thick logbook appears at once from under the counter. Sydney puts on thick glasses that seem to age him 5 decades in an instant and studies the lined pages. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Alright, let's get our equipment.
Maynard adjusts his glasses in a businesslike manner.
Before I give you the uniform, please listen to these short instructions.
Alright, I'm listening.
Sydney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. You may also freeze to death or get fried. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged, and the more it's damaged, the more often one has to repair it.
The silver steps back from his counter to indicate the repair kit boxes piled in the back of the warehouse. He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any large base, of course, but they're not always available. So, you'd better learn how to use repair kits and workbenches on your own. It's a useful skill.
Alright, good tip.
Sydney rests the logbook on the desk.
That's all the instructions. Now, I'm going to issue your uniform.
The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform. Sydney proudly shakes out a bright white jacket. It more resembles a thick mantle than a lab coat.
Look, this is the most advanced clothing under the dome. It protects from acid, aggressive fauna, and radiation. Not very effectively, though. Don't expect miracles.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sydney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform. Enjoy.
Right, let's check out the uniform. We have Linnaeus field trousers, durable and comfortable pants, a Albatros M73 lab coat, the pinnacle of jacket technology, very good, and mariner boots. With biochemical resistance. So we need a helmet and gloves, but right now we don't have a lot of currency available. Might be enough to buy something though, but first let's finish the registration process.
That's Argina. Did you mark it as class 1 again instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Can we get on the
Wait, but it still
first
smells
floor? Or the floor
Not going
below?
to violate protocol.
Katarzyna, my dear. You may violate protocol as long as
I want to check that out.
correct your report if you have to. Don't act so innocent.
Let's get a weapon.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly.
So we're here for our personal weapon.
Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. Tkachenko returns a couple of minutes later, carrying something that looks more like a toy than a weapon. The weapon seems weightless as she spins it around her finger.
I ain't telling you shit about this thing, 'cause that's exactly how much I know. Laser, schmazer, cadmium battery, fiberglass body, blah, 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 blah. You probably know more about it than I do. Here.
Accept the firearm carefully with the barrel aimed downward, like you were trained.
Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
So, do you know anything about the weapon's drawbacks?
Tkachenko bites down on the stem of her pipe.
Are you kidding me? I'm a different breed. One that doesn't understand toy guns. What if it turns out to be radioactive? Sorry, but I can't help you out on this one.
Yeah, probably also. She doesn't know anything about servicing the weapon.
The black regards the Andromeda suspiciously.
Fuck it. If it breaks, bring it back and I'll trade it in for another one. There was a little cloth in the box it came in for cleaning the lens. That's all I know.
Alright, thanks a lot.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me. Wait a minute. Sign your name here in the meantime.
Margarita reaches under her counter and produces a set of ammunition.
A new set of ammo is issued for every task, but there's so much bureaucracy you'll go daft. Expenditure report. Form number 16. Disposal form. The Silver's running true to form. So if you need more ammo, I recommend you either search or barter for it. Or learn how to craft it on your own. These are useful skills. Trust me.
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She winces in disgust.
Right, useful functional keys. Thank you very much. Notebook. Let's take a look. Much used green notebook, lying open on the desk. Pages have been lined with a pencil and filled in a neat slanting script with oversized curlicues. Whatever they may be, flip through the notebook looking for interesting entries. So Margarita is mentioned. The comments are striking in their variety. John Kepler received a servo shell. Special justification provided. And something in an unfamiliar language. Major Ida Grace. But in place of the comments there's always a blank line. And my name appeared in the notebook along with the comment, no employee, primary receiving. Let's see the psychic
I'll complain to the Silvers about
and
that.
Mihai.
They'll take the approval. I hate those oranges. What the hell do they break?
A lean silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andre Mihai, Science Instructor, floats up as well.
Approach the table as if nothing unusual is occurring.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke.
Alright, let's get the psionics briefing.
The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andre gropes your hand with an expression of fierce concentration.
So, do you practice? Bells, bulbs, brushing mugs off the table, huh?
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
So, what about psionics and its origins?
The silver takes a pull at his cigar and releases a self-important puff of smoke.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the dome remains. And this. Psionics, huh?
He rocks back in his armchair, puffing on his cigar. The toothpicks again slowly rise up from the table. Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Scientists say everyone has an organic skill called psyche. You have it, I have it, everyone has it, huh? Big psyche? You got talents. Small psyche? No talents. You'll need to carry a lighter all your life.
Alright, show me a trick.
Mihai spreads his hands good-naturedly as if to say, "You're welcome." The toothpicks on the table skitter around for a moment, arranging themselves into a curse word. The silver laughs loudly at his joke. The cigar falls from his mouth to float in the air, ash flaking weightlessly from the tip.
Alright, let's leave. Check out the weapons. We have a Andromeda, high-tech weapon, energy pistol. Andromeda is the first energy pistol certified for mass production. Very nice. And also a Spectre Psychokinetic Psi Glove. Not really going for psionics, but might as well equip it if we run out of ammo. Right now we have 40 ammo. Anything we can search his locker. Apparently he doesn't mind. Energon, fatigue minus 300, increases vigor and performance. Some money. Well, safe is locked. Not really surprising.
I'll complain to the Silvers about that idiot.
I think we need to go to 4.
The hell
first.
will they break locks for?
As you reach to open the sliding door, an engineer in a bright blue jacket stops you.
Hold on there, Chief. It's out of order. See? You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh. They're like animals, those oranges, marking their territory. If you ask me, they're too gracious about those bastards in Crystal Sands.
So, can you open the door?
Penkovsky grunts angrily.
I wish I could. I'm gonna have to disassemble, clean, and reassemble it to get it working. It's work I don't need, and all thanks to some idiot.
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp, precision probe from behind his ear and dangles it in front of you.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly.
Useful skill, so sure. We want to learn how to pick locks.
The blues getting excited.
All right, looky here.
Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy. No special skill required. They wear out after a few locks. While the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use. But one has to know how to use it right. That's a tool for a master.
Maxime takes out another pick lock and crouches by the door. He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right there.
Penkovsky shows you his utility belt, where he keeps all kinds of tools and gadgets.
Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices for hacking terminals and so on.
Maxime hoists up his belt.
That's maybe what we need to register the other guy.
The blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kits. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat contracts with Cronus, so they care about quality.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
So, what's wrong with the hab pods?
Penkovsky gives you a patronizing look.
Because they're poorly made, warped from the heat, and the filters aren't worth a damn. The modules were constructed by marketing managers, not engineers. Building a city in the desert was also their idea. This project is all about PR. Cronus wants to show the world how tough they are.
Locks and lockpicking. So pick the desired ability from the list. Special lockpicks increase the chance of success, but those usually deplete rather quickly. Also brute force, or if there's a terminal nearby, you can also try that to open the door.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word.
So we have an electronic lockpick and a regular one. Let's maybe save the
get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt.
electronic
and then,
lockpick.
apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word. You're doing great. All right, off you go. I'll keep working on this lock
Welcome
because of
under the
that
dome,
orange.
an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Disinfectant and piece of cloth. Don't think we need a mop. Well, it's only 1 kilogram, so sell it later.
A middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hands in his lap. The buttons and zippers on his uniform are polished to a shine, and even his badge, Winston Botherby, Instructor, has been buffed so much it hurts to look at it. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. Are you going to be late for your funeral as well?
Snap to attention and report that you're here for your assignment and want to receive instruction.
The black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received checkmark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
We are prepared.
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
He raises his index finger.
The conditions in the training zone closely simulate those one would experience in the field. Your goal is to avoid getting lost and dying of dehydration. And try to aim the barrel away from yourself when shooting.
Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your goal is to hit 3 targets. I'm going to monitor you and advise as necessary. And try not to burst into tears. That's all. Go ahead.
Alright, salute him and leave. Terminals contain useful information, allow you to turn on disabled mechanisms and open locked doors. And if you accidentally or intentionally killed one of the main characters, information on how to progress further in the game can almost always be found in their terminal. Right, that's a useful tip. Preparing for combat. We are prepared. Welcome to the Sherman Holographic Combat Emulation System. Select the program. Let's select Alpha to initiate the Alpha Squad hologram and proceed to the training zone. Turn-based combat. The move sequence of your opponents, allies and yourself is determined by initiative. Action points, of which we have 7, are spent on moving, using abilities and attacking. If you have any remaining points left, you can spend them on increasing your defense class. Or you can finish the current turn and save them for the next one. Alright. Let's get into cover. Can do a regular shot or use a skill. Environment. There are interactive objects, traps, pools, toxic goo, barrels full of fuel. Refrigerant barrel. Not sure how to all right. Make sure that you don't have a weapon drawn when you start a conversation. Right. Decent tip.
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations. I'll send a report up the chain about your completely unanticipated success. You're dismissed, employee.
Thanks a lot. Anything we can get here? Well, let's first go to... What do we need to do here? Master the use of the scanner. Empty beer bottle.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat, bathed in the dim lamplight. He almost appears to be hovering above the laboratory floor. The man turns at your footsteps. He's holding a paper clipboard and a pencil. His shimmering silver badge reads Sebastian Van Olden. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand.
Right. Greet him and say you're here for your briefing.
The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished, I'll answer your questions. Within regulations, of course.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you scan will earn you Kronos or Forefathers knowledge points.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies. They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
So, what is the Minerva database?
Sebastian snorts skeptically.
Oh, great. You're even ignorant of the basics. Minerva is a mainframe located at Magellan Base, where you'll be going soon, by the way. The Minerva disk stores the database containing every piece of information about the Dome and the company's employees. It is thanks to this scanning that the database is constantly updated. Are you ready for the second part of the briefing, or do you have any more questions?
The instructor looks at his chronometer again.
So what are these knowledge points and what is the difference between the two kinds?
The white scowls in annoyance.
Do you know anything at all? What did you come under the Dome for anyway? You get knowledge points for scanning objects. For scanning anomalies and relics, you receive Forefather points. Scanning the company's property and employees, living or dead, earns you Kronos knowledge points.
He explains with a sagacious expression.
You can exchange knowledge points for medication and equipment as part of the volunteer research program. Are you ready for the next part? The clock is ticking.
The instructor taps his watch meaningfully.
So how about some details on how to scan objects?
Sebastian pulls a scanner from his pocket.
I will demonstrate this only once. To switch on the scanner, press the button on the right side of the manipulator housing. The scanning beam is narrow. It's intended to focus on one object at a time.
Van Olden turns on the scanner and continues.
My advice is to scan anything that might be of scientific or statistical interest. Relics, Forefathers objects, automatic doors, vehicles, vending machines, deceased employees.
He turns the screen so you can see it.
The scanner automatically transmits data to the Minerva system, and you receive knowledge points. Do you have any questions, or can we proceed to the practical part of our briefing?
Well, let's get a list of useful medications for researching anomalies.
You'll need some one-use stimulator injectors, bandages to stop bleeding, and anti-radiation agents and radio protectors, including ARAD-3.
The White ticks these off on his fingers. He produces a black-capped, transparent plastic jar out of his pocket.
According to protocol, you should have this medicine. I'll give it to you as soon as we proceed to the practical part of the briefing. Are you ready, by the way, or do you have any questions?
So how exactly can you discharge an anomaly with a bolt?
The researcher winces.
Why do I have to spell out every single thing for you? Take a bolt, throw it at the anomaly, and it goes off. Any more questions?
Well, actually no, we are ready to proceed.
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics are quite common under the dome.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your ARAD-3. And one more thing. Just a moment.
Please stand by for decontamination to
Welcome
end.
under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage,
You have the scanning ability. Select the ability in the panel, click on the object you want to scan. And for a successful scan you receive knowledge points. And the data obtained in the process is stored in your Kairos. Very good, we can actually go into the office and get some stuff. This is a high-tech device that provides medical care. Don't think we need it right now.
listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive
Disinfectant.
a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Unidentified relic. ARAD-3.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information.
Inactive black relic. Crumbs relic. Handful of earth. Just take everything. Oh, there's actually an employee here, George Zarins. Apparently he doesn't mind us snooping around. Maybe we can use the terminal to register, what was his name? Monty James. Let's do that later though, let's first scan the anomalies.
Be careful around the anomalies. Touch one of them and you'll be injured.
The anomalies can injure, kill or irradiate you. Can detect and temporarily deactivate them using the bolt throwing ability.
Toss a bolt at the anomaly to discharge it. Journal entry. A successful scanning attempt. You're doing all right so far.
Alright, level up.
Keep an eye on you and make sure you
requires shovel. Don't think we have that. No.
Sebastian meets you on the platform.
Your finishing time is within the acceptable range.
He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time.
Right, wait and see what Van Elden will say next.
The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad. One question. You observed several anomalies while scanning. Why do you think they appeared? I'd like to hear your opinion.
Right, formulate a hypothesis based on the scanner's beam's wave structure.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that. I see you understand nothing about the nature of anomalies. So let me add a couple of points.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the eco zone.
The truth is, we don't know the precise reason for these phenomenon either. We actually know nothing, no matter how much we try to convince ourselves otherwise.
Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason, no one wants to understand that fundamental science is always an investment in the future. It produces no answers here and now.
The White's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will, science will protect no one. That is all. Off you go.
You've completed combat training, learned how to scan relics and collected your weapon and uniform. The crash course is completed. Head to the waiting area where the boss will take you to Magellan Station. But I still want to see if we can get Monty James registered. Also, we could maybe sell these items and get ourselves a helmet and gloves. Cannot, well, we can actually equip these. Defense class +4, that may actually be pretty useful. And I also need to talk to this guy, George Zarins. Well, that's something for the next episode. For now, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.